guys, it was great to see you yesterday. We talked a lot about slot building, and today I'm going to talk to you about joints. We're going to be using our masking tape and our brads. So if you don't have those supplies, you're going to want to pause the video and go get them because you'll need them to be able to work on these projects. So when I saw you yesterday, we built a project and we built a base, and you guys were trying to build as tall as you could go. And today I want to show you a couple different ways that you could build a door onto a piece that you've already made. So the first way would be to use our slots like we did yesterday, and that would be where you would cut a piece off that was the width of your door, and then we'd have to add it on here. And to do that, we'd need to cut a slot from the bottom of the door halfway up, and then we would need to cut a slot down on this side, and then we would join them together. And this is a review from yesterday where we're taking two pieces and we're putting the slots together, and then we have a door. And of course we could take it back off and bend the slot, and that makes a little angle joint that way. So that would allow for us to slide this back together, no tape, no glue, and you would have a door that you could potentially open and close. And if you wanted to, you could cut a doorway as well. So if you wanted to cut like an actual slot out, or you could paint it black to make it look like it was a doorway, or color it black, that would work as well. You can cut your little doorway out, and then you can take your slotted door and add it back on. And then because it's bent, you can actually open and close with the slot. But if you didn't want to do a slot building, we can do it on the other side in the same manner, but we can use tape to make a joint. So again, I'm going to cut out a doorway. And again, if you didn't want to cut this out, you could color like a dark rectangle to make it look like. In this case, we're going to make it so that we put tape on the seam. So we're going to make a seam that's a joint. And I can see right now that this piece that I have is a little bit taller than the entryway that I made, so I'm actually going to cut a little bit more out of my piece up here. So I'm just making my door taller. See how I made it taller there? And then I'm going to take a piece of my masking tape and put it on the edge. Masking tape is really fun to use because you don't need to cut it with scissors. You can just grab it with your nails and pull up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of measure by holding my door up like this, how tall I want it to be. And then you can pinch it between your two fingers and just pull it down, and it tears the tape, which is awesome. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put half of my tape on the door so that's half and half. So half is on and half is off. See that? And then where I have extra tape, I'm going to trim it with my scissors, because you guys have scissors in your kits, so that there's none hanging off. See? Like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to match this up to my doorway and put the tape that was hanging off on the other side. And you can see this creates a hinge. And this door could swing either direction. If you wanted to go all the way in, it would. And if you wanted it to come out, it would, because the tape makes a little hinge for your door. Hinges can be used to make a lot of different things. If you wanted to make something that looked like a booklet or something else that might swing, you can do that using tape. You can do this with a thicker corrugated cardboard as well, using your cardboard saws. Remember, yours has the yellow handle and it looks like this, and you're going to saw down so that it goes down to your surface. Don't put your fingers underneath it and cut, because some of you were doing that yesterday and that gets dangerous. You can cut your finger, right? So I'm using a different one, but it's the same idea where you cut down, and then you can just pull your cardboard saw and you have this thicker corrugated cardboard. If you wanted to hinge on that, you can do the same thing, but I like to bend mine in half and put it together, because if you try to put a joint on it flat like this, because the cardboard is thicker, it won't bend very well. So if I tape it flat, I'm going to show you how it doesn't work. If I try to bend it in, it won't work. If I bend it backwards, it will work. Do you see that? So if I put it flat and I want to bend it in, it totally works, and it will stand up. But if I try to bend it back in this way, what happens is the tape is too thick and it stresses it really bad and it doesn't bend well. So if you want to make sure that you have enough give, you can actually stack your cardboard together and and put the tape over both ends of it. So if I take it like this and stack them, I can wrap them all the way to the other side of the corrugated cardboard. And that also creates a hinge, but you have enough room to move it both directions. So if you tape it flat, it will only bend one direction, but if you tape it folded over itself, it will bend both directions. And if you have a really thick cardboard and your tape isn't wide enough, you can take the tape and make a joint like this, where you go over it this way. Stacked together, they're stacked. And go over the ends. And this will allow you to fold your cardboard 2 directions. So see, it bends this way and it will stand, and it will also bend back the other way. So it's a double bend that way. If you tape it flat the first way I showed you, it will only go one direction, but this allows you to do 2 directions. So this is really fun for like building walls, or like having a trap door if you wanted to build something like that. You can also, one of you had taken your cardboard saw yesterday and you had cut a hole in your cardboard, so you can use your markers and you can draw a shape, and then you can use your cardboard saw to cut that out, and then you can have like a little hidden door or something like that. So if you cut that section out using your cardboard saw, remember you want to put your hand underneath it. You can hold the side up and poke it straight through and go around and pop that out, and that could become like a hidden area and part of your sculpture. So that's what I wanted you to know about hinges, is that you can join them. They can swing open and back on the corrugated cardboard, or here you can swing them either way to make anything that you might want to open and close. Okay, so that's part 1 of today's video, and then part 2 is using the brads. So these you guys all have a little box of these guys. They're funny looking. They have little round tops and they have bendy parts on the bottom. You want to leave the bendy parts together until you are joining 2 things together. So again, if you take a piece of your corrugated cardboard and you cut it down, and you take another piece and you cut it down, you can take your cardboard saw and you can twist it. Remember, mine doesn't have a point on it, but if you take and twist it to make a hole, you can twist it like that. I'm actually going to use my big scissors and I'm going to do that. If you're working on a table, make sure you put another piece of cardboard underneath it, but twist it until it goes through. And then you take a second piece and you puncture it and twist it. I'm working on a piece of wood. That's the reason why I don't have anything underneath it. So that you have 2 holes in your, you see there and there. And then what you do is you put your pieces together and you take one of your brads and you push it through the first one. And then you push it through the second one so that they're together. And then you take these pieces and you open them up and you push them flat. And what that allows is for you to use a brad that allows things to spin. So if you wanted to make something that looked like something on the playground, or like the hands of a clock on the side of one of your sculptures, you can add these holes and layer them together and add a brad. And you can do that with the corrugated cardboard, or you could do it with your other cardboard. And it doesn't have to be like, each of the pieces don't have to be squares or rectangles. You could do any shape you wanted. So if you wanted a rounded piece, you can cut it out of the thinner cardboard and then you can add another piece to it, and you can add it anywhere you want. So, oop, I cut mine through. Sometimes we make mistakes. I'll try that again. I'll use my smaller scissors for that. So you can just make a little hole through, twist, make a little hole through, twist, and then you can join these together. So they don't have to be in the middle. You can put them wherever you want 2 things to be joined together. And let's say that I have these 2 pieces and they move independently. I can also join them to another piece of sculpture that already exists. So if I put a little hole in the side there, you don't have to have 3 brads. You can put them all together and you can put them on and then open it on the inside. So now I have these pieces on the side that move. So if I wanted like a secret passcode to get into my sculpture, I could put it under there and then I could hide it. Or if I wanted to put different signs like the name of my building or something like that, I could put that on there as well. So the brads allow you to make something called attachments, and they also allow for things to spin around, which is a type of joint. So I hope that you have a lot of fun building today, and that you use some of these different options with the tape to make joints, or the joints to make, or the brads to make joints, and add to the sculpture you started yesterday. And I can't wait to see you back tomorrow. Thanks.